Hey Slayers, I'm the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, SEGASLAYER64, and welcome to a very different video today. So, I'll explain it like this, okay? At the time of me recording this, which would be Tuesday night, it is now 2 hours before I turn 18. Which, to me, is still crazy to think I'm turning 18 that fast. Like, man, it's like time just flies, you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to do a special video in which I just talk and reflect on some of the games that really affected me as a child, you know what I'm saying? Because now my childhood's technically over, you know what I'm saying? Now I know what they say. They do say with maturity doesn't come with age. So just because I'm, aging, I'm an adult now, 18. Well, not now, but in 2 hours. But at the time you're seeing this, it is my birthday, you know what I'm saying? So, just doesn't mean I've matured fully to an adult. But you understand what I mean. But today, I figured it'd be time for us to revisit something. I figured since, it is time for, since I'm going to be, turning 18, let's revisit the game that I truly think, truly do think started my childhood off, you know what I'm saying? Like, truly started it off. And that's going to be Sonic Rush. Now, I have the DS emulator here somewhere. Just give me a second because I cannot remember where it is at, which is kind of stupid, but I'll be right back, okay? Okay, and I'm back. So now we're going to be experiencing this together. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm just going to open up the game really quickly. We're just going to open it up here. We'll just go to my downloads. And, I'll keep this in just so you can see. Now, first off, I want to warn you that the quality isn't that good right here because I haven't fully figured out how to, mess with it yet. Like, I've been trying to mess with, window size and, mess with a few things like that. There we go. See, but it doesn't work properly, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? Trying to mess with it does not like to work properly. I mean, you can see, it just does not work properly. I don't know why. I tried messing with it, but, it doesn't want to work. But I'll figure it out later. But the point is, we're going to be playing this and just talking today. Talking about, games as a child, okay? Games I experienced as a child, and we're actually gonna go ahead because I figured out that my controller. This video is gonna be really raw, so don't expect this to be, you know what I'm saying, very sophisticatedly edited and stuff. This video is just gonna be very raw, so you can see me, setting up my controller and all that. There we go. So we're gonna be starting the game here. I just have to, set up my controller. But anyway, we're gonna get right in. Okay, we're just gonna be talking. Okay, and I forgot I set this like an actual DS. I'll figure out a better way to emulate this later on. But right now, here we go, man. Sonic Rush, the first game I ever played, and over my years of playing gaming, over my childhood years, a lot of games have stuck with me, and I've become. This is the game that truly made me, I guess you can say, the man I am today, or the man I will be fully tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? This is the game that truly did define my childhood, you know what I'm saying? The game that, I guess you could say, is the whole reason for all of this. The whole reason you're even seeing this channel today is because of this game. And that is why I'm super proud of this game. And it still holds up well to me today, but playing it, it's like I was playing it all those years ago, you know what I'm saying? It truly does hold up, and it truly, it's the game that stuck with me the most, you know what I'm saying? Sure, it wasn't perfect. Sure, it wasn't anything special, you know what I'm saying? But it was the game I had with my DS, and it was the game that truly did show me what gaming could be. It truly did show me what Sega as a whole was capable. I'm not going to do that because I don't have access to my files. But the game that truly did as a whole show me what Sega and the rest of the video game market was capable of. This is the game that truly did make me a gamer. And for that, I can't thank this game enough, you know what I'm saying? Gaming has, shown me just such an awesome time throughout my life, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for gaming, I don't know what I'd be doing right now, you know what I'm saying? But, gaming has just been awesome throughout my life. It's just been, probably the biggest part of my life as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Growing up and playing all these games, I guess I was a very fortunate child, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of consoles at the time. Well, as I got older, I got a lot more, you know what I'm saying? But I got a lot of DS games, especially originally. But none of them stuck out like Sonic did. Sega as a whole really just stuck through me. And after playing this game, first game ever, you know what I'm saying? This truly made me want every other Sonic game after this. I remember when I saw the trailer for Sonic Rush Adventure, and I was hyped out of my mind, you know what I'm saying? I needed it, and I did get it, and it ended up being just as good as this game. Some people don't like Rush Adventure as much as Rush, and I think Rush Adventure was awesome. And did I die? Oh no. Okay, I think Rush Adventure was awesome. It was an amazing game and just an amazing time in general, you know what I'm saying? Would I say it's better than the original Rush? I don't know, it's a tough question. It depends on how I'm playing that day. Sometimes I think it might be better, other times I'll remind myself, nah, Sonic Rush. But I mean, then again, you can't really, because I do have a very flawed opinion of this game, you know what I'm saying? Like, during my early years of gaming, I had two consoles, the Nintendo DS and the Xbox 360. And those two consoles truly did define my childhood as a whole when it comes to gaming. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think you get a certain amount of games that just truly stick with you throughout your life. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I had to guess, I'd say you'd probably have like 10 games that'll truly just stick with you throughout your life and will truly always be there regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, my favorite game is Sonic Unleashed, and it has been that way for some years now. But who knows, maybe one day in the future, a new game will come out, and it'll change my opinion. But the one thing that'll never be able to change is the impact that Sonic Unleashed had on me as a kid, you know what I'm saying? And the impact, and this is one of those games that just, you'll never be able to take it away, you know what I'm saying? You never forget your first video game experience. And even though I was a little kid when I first played Sonic Rush, even Sonic Rush Adventure, I still remember it as fondly as if it was yesterday, because something about these games just were that good and that amazing that they just stuck with me throughout my whole life, and they continue to stick with me and will probably stick with me forever. I'll never forget, like I said, I'll never forget the first time I popped this into my DS and just heard this song, saw the awesome graphics, because before this, you know what I'm saying, gaming as a whole was kind of foreign to me. You know, I don't know if you're old enough to remember these. Back in the day, before I even got my DS, right, we had these things, and these things were called, like, which the DS was around when I was, obviously I was born in 2003, so, me being 18 now, obviously I was born in 2003, so when I first played this, I would have been really young, obviously, but I still remember it. It's like, it's one of those memories, it's one of my earliest memories, and I still, like, cherish that memory to this day. But it's like, popping this into that DS, you know, before that, all I probably had was like, I don't know if anyone remembers VTech, and they used to make like little laptops, and they still do. It's just nowadays kids are, you know, kids aren't like kids when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, all kids had were things like those little laptops, or maybe a Nintendo DS. Kids today have bigger phones than I do, okay? So it's like, they don't really get to experience that awesomeness of just like, this is one of the reasons I said one of my generation was like the last good generation for that type of stuff. Kids today are not going to experience the things that, you know, if you're in my generation or even before my generation, you can kind of relate with me a little bit about this, but it's like, kids today will never get to experience the goodness that we experienced back then, you know what I'm saying? When we actually found stuff like toys and stuff fun like that, and you know, it was the simplest games that made us happy, you know what I'm saying? Like Sonic Rush right here. The graphics weren't that good, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they were good for the time, just not as good as something like the Sony PSP could offer or something like that. But I was still happy. To me, this was the world. This was the king of graphics, you know what I'm saying? Nothing could outdo this, especially in the handheld scheme. And you know, phones back then were trash, so you know, no one really wanted a phone for anything other than calling, you know what I'm saying? You weren't gonna get like those super high-res gaming experiences that kids get today on their phones. Like I said, kids today are really lucky to be playing full-on games like Fortnite and other things like that on their phones. That would have never been imaginable when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you guys out there are really lucky to experience this type of stuff now. But as a kid, you know, the DS was it, man. I could bring my DS in the car if I was going on like going somewhere on a road trip or something like that. I could bring my DS in the car and just not and have fun for hours. And the thing I think another thing that was really awesome about the Nintendo DS as a whole, and I'm going to one day make a video talking about my retrospective of the DS. I'm gonna give a whole retrospective of the Nintendo DS at some point, and I'm sorry I can't skip this cutscene, or I would, you know, if I could, but hold on, come on, Blaze, finally. See, there was like now this is what I'm talking about. Kids today have like full-on voice acting, like they're mobile games, right? These mobile games out here have full-on voice acting and high budgets. In fact, some mobile games have higher budgets than console games, okay? At the time, that would not have been possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm being honest, a game like this, Sonic Rush on the Nintendo DS, although I've never took it upon myself to look up the budget for the game, this game probably had no more than $10,000 to work with. And I can almost guarantee it. I don't truly know, and I'm gonna look that up one day. And one day I'm gonna give this game a full review personally, but like, as of now, this game probably had no more than maybe $10,000 to $5,000 for its budget. So there was not going to be any full-on voice acting. You know what I'm saying? There was no voice acting in this. There was no anything. You had to read the words like a true person. You know what I'm saying? There was not going to be any special things like that. But this right here was everything to me. And the voice acting that is here is just like little sound clips like that. Do your best, Sonic. You don't get any like. And I'm pretty sure these voice clips in these games were taken from like other games, you know, other Sonic games at the time. But you guys, like I said, if you're from my generation, you can understand what I'm talking about. Games today, kids today have it really lucky when it comes to gaming because they're getting these high-class, big-budget games on their mobile devices, something we never would have even fathomed back then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Xbox 360 had just came out. The DS was essentially a PlayStation 1. It took us a long time to get that far, you know what I'm saying? There were still kids rocking the, Game Boy Advance at this time, you know what I'm saying? When Sonic Rush came out. Sonic Rush was a 2004 release, so that would have been the year after I was born. And I don't think I played it to like, maybe 2006, if I'm correct. No, 2005. I mean, I would have been 2, but I still, like I said, I vividly remember playing Sonic Rush. It's just one of those memories you don't forget. And I truly don't think you forget your first gaming experience, you know what I'm saying? You just really do not forget your first gaming experience. It's something that'll stick with you forever, and just like it has stuck with me forever, and Sonic Rush holds up to me today, and it's the reason I personally love the boost formula. You know, I always tell you the truth, I get a little upset when some people say, oh, I miss the adventure formula, I hope the adventure formula comes out, and mostly that's because I do have nostalgia cloud in my judgment, which, you know, some people will tell you is not a good thing, and sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. In this case, I think it is. I personally prefer the boost games. This is what made me fall in love with boost games as a whole. And this is what made me, if not for this game, I never would have even discovered, I probably never would have even been, like I said, gaming would not have interested me as much as it did if it wasn't for this game. This channel wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this game, only because this was the game that truly made me want to explore, well, this wasn't the game that truly made me want to explore other Sega franchises. I do technically owe that honor to Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, but this was the game that made me discover Sega in the first place and discover how awesome and good their games could be, you know what I'm saying? And that is why I truly just mark this as like the game, the pinnacle of games when it comes to my childhood. This is it, you know what I'm saying? Every other game after this in my life will have to come will never be able to come close to this for me, because this right here is true nostalgia. But talking about that, you know what I'm saying, I think it's time to start talking about the console side of things, okay? Well, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I could do this. Like I said, this is just gonna be a very raw video, you know what I'm saying? A very just like raw video of just me trying to generally discuss, you know what I'm saying, my childhood in gaming. So I think I'll give you probably the top 10 games that truly, like, made an impression on me as a kid, you know what I'm saying? And going from Sonic Rush, I think the next game is perfect to move on to. wouldn't be Sonic Rush Adventure, because I would kind of just Sonic Rush Adventure, again, don't get me wrong, made a huge impression, but it, you know, on the other hand, it's just Sonic, you know what I'm saying? It's just Sonic. Same thing for Sonic Colors again. Well, Sonic Colors on the DS, they both made huge impressions, but they just weren't like Sonic Rush level, you know what I'm saying? Considering I feel the same way about those as I do about Sonic Rush. They're both really good games, but there's nothing different I can say from what I just said about Sonic Rush for them. Just because, you know, they essentially are Sonic Rush again, you know what I'm saying? They essentially are Sonic Rush. But moving on, the game that I'd say the next, like, truly made the next biggest impression, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, okay? Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. Now, how can I explain this? Well, I originally, when I first got my DS, right, I had a blue Nintendo DS Lite, okay? It was a dark blue one. And, you know, it kind of like the rest of my DS's, it didn't last that long, I guess you could say. It did not last a long time. Eventually, I don't remember how, but eventually the head kind of like, you know, the head decided it didn't want to, you know, stay on that system anymore. That's just how I'm going to put that to make it less embarrassing. So yeah, that's essentially what happened with that system. And when that happened, I ended up not too long after, I ended up getting, well, this had to be about like 2010. Yeah, about 2010. I ended up getting another Nintendo DS, but this one was red. And with that one, I ended up getting Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. Now, how can I explain this other than the fact that I hated that game? Okay, I got it, and I never, for years, I let it sit. Like, I'd say, well, not years, probably like all of 2010, because it was so hard, I didn't know what to do. That was the beginning of my hatred for, like, dungeon crawlers / RPGs. That was the beginning of it. And me not knowing what to do, you know, I gave up, and, you know, I did not like that game, but, you know, later on, I would actually come back and play it, like, probably the next year, and I actually managed to beat it. And the story, man, the story was so good, it actually made me cry. That was like, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness was probably the first true game I ever cried on, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even ashamed to admit it. The story was so good and so, like, it was intensely sad and, like, happy at the same time. And that, you know, at the time, that was something I never would have thought a game would have done to me, you know what I'm saying? I just thought of games as something fun that I like to do, play, you know, not anything that could actually have an impact. Like, you watch a good movie, and you really want a movie to have, like, an impact on you. You want a movie to be something that, you know, you want to remember. And, you know, now, video games at the time, I'd still say while they were getting there, they still weren't at the point to where, you know, they could truly make a lasting impact. At least for, like, the general public at the time, you know what I'm saying? And I was nowhere near a hardcore gamer. I was a gamer. Pretty much my DS went everywhere I went, you know what I'm saying? Yes! Always playing my DS. Pretty much every time I had a chance to play my DS, that's what I did. And, you know, like I said, at the time, you know, no game, I don't even think any movie left the type of impact on me at the time that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness did. That game, man, if you haven't played it, go ahead and play it. Maybe one day I'll try and play it on here, on like a live stream or something, and we can, now that I have, you know, the DS emulator, we can play it on a live stream and actually, you know, have a, like, exclusive live stream let's play of the game. Because, man, nothing will ever come close to, like, the story just factor of that game really had me, man. The story of it was like, oh, it was just so good. It's a 10 out of 10 game for sure, for me at least, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you haven't played it, it is hard, it is extremely hard, I'm not gonna lie to you, but really, you need to give it a try. It's worth it. And the pain and, like, torture you will get from the actual gameplay itself, it's definitely worth it, I think. Now, come on, Eddie, man. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. And that's probably, like, the second game I'd say on my list would truly made an impact. Now, we're going to be moving on to consoles for the next one. No, actually, no. The next one, we're going to be staying on the DS. This will probably be like the final. I don't want to just flood it with DS games, but maybe I have 2 more. I think the next DS game that truly made an impression on me, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. This, you know, I hate to say this, but this one, although I'd say Sonic Rush is the biggest, this one probably made just a little bit of a bigger impact to me than Sonic Rush, because Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing was the first game to introduce me to the world of Sega outside of Sonic. Before this, it was just Sonic Rush Adventure. It was just Sonic Rush, Sonic Rush Adventure. It was just Sonic Rush, the Sonic Rush Adventure, and you know, Sonic Colors I don't think came out yet. But when I got this game for my DS, at the time, you know, I didn't know who any of the other characters were. In fact, I'll tell you the truth, I really just bought the game for Sonic originally. That's why I got the game. I asked for it for Christmas. That's the only reason I wanted the game, was just for Sonic at the time. But playing it, and I started to see all these other characters, and it made me wonder, like, who is Alex Kidd? Who is Bonanza Brothers? Who is this? Who is that? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, playing that game, you know, and starting to learn more about these characters as I played it, because, you know, I think the manual had, like, character bios, if I'm correct. I might be wrong, and I might have discovered a little bit more about them in another way, but I'm pretty sure the manual, or the game itself, one of them had character bios, and, you know, reading about it, I learned that these were other Sega characters, and that they had, you know, that Sega made other games, and that Sega had a whole lineup of, like, awesome characters that I never knew about before that moment, and he was easy. But Sega had a bunch of other characters that I never learned / knew about. So playing this game at the time truly did leave a lasting impact, and it's like really just like crazy to me. And playing this, I wanted to learn more about these characters. Who was Beat? You know what I'm saying, from Jet Set Radio? BD Joe from Crazy Taxi? What is that? Okay, what is that? I wanted to know what this stuff was. And so this was what I would say is truly the game that truly did introduce me as a whole to what Sega was. And this is the game that truly started the whole me falling in love with Sega, because from this point on, I would do my best to research. Anytime I got near a computer, you know what I'm saying? Because at this time, also, I started up learning emulation on computers at the time. That's how I'm pretty much versed in knowing how to set up emulation. Even though, like, the thing is, you would do it on, like, a school computer and things like that, and you would have to, like, delete it before you left, and things like that. But this is really where I learned emulation, you know what I'm saying, from at the time. Now, those games as a whole just really left an impression on me, you know what I'm saying? It made me want to learn more about Sega, and playing Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing on the DS, you know what I'm saying? I could play that for hours, even today. I can just sit there and play that game for hours. It's so fun. The tracks are so memorable. The music is so good. I learned so much more about Sega music, you know what I'm saying? And that's truly the game where I really understood, like, man, Sega is the company, you know what I'm saying? Sega is the company I love the most, man. It's what truly touched me, and just, you know, in a way, like, because at the time, I didn't play much Nintendo first-party games, just because, you know, I really didn't care about them. I didn't have too many interests. I more so was looking for anything Sonic-related at the time, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time, he was my favorite character. Now I would say, when I say he's my favorite character now, I don't know. That's a tough question. I have to think about it a little bit more on that before I decide is Sonic still my favorite character. You know what I'm saying? Like, video game character of all time. I don't think, you know, because in that case, I think if he was, he wouldn't be in the first place. It would more so be Knuckles. But we'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like, at the time, Sonic was it, man. I couldn't get enough of Sonic. I needed anything Sonic related. So, in my quest for, actually, hold on, no, next. I think we'll talk about the next game that truly made the biggest impression on me. And this one is, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a huge first-person shooter fan. I love first-person shooters, and it's all because of this. So, one random day, you know, I was in Toys R Us with my mom, okay? And there was this game, and I didn't know anything about it, and me being still a kid at this time, you know what I'm saying? This game at the time was rated 2 for teen, so originally my mom said I couldn't get it, but begging enough to get it, she did get it for me. But no, the game I saw was one Call of Duty Black Ops for the Nintendo DS. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops at the time, it was rated 2 for teen. So she said no at first, like no, but before we left, I begged and begged to get it, and she actually did get it for me. So if you're watching this, Mom, thank you for that. You know, you spawned my love of first-person shooters, but I love first-person shooters. I played that game. I played Call of Duty Black Ops for the Nintendo DS. It was over, man. Like, just playing the game. Now, Call of Duty on DS, most of them suck. Like, 99% of them suck. And Black Ops was about the best one on there because of the controls being good and the actual like gameplay being good. And I still replay it from time to time today because it was that good. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, first-person shooter of all time. It's just amazing. Now, from playing that Call of Duty Black Ops on the DS, the graphics are very simple. They're very PS1-like. And, you know, playing the original, now I'm playing the console version also, you know, coming to play that, I think I like that one more. I think that's probably my favorite Call of Duty of all time. Is the Black Ops on the, like, the story was very simplified. It was different from the console story on the DS. The graphics were obviously way worse. They didn't have the capacity to do what they did on the, like, on the consoles. But the game itself, the gameplay was still amazing. I love Black Ops. Was like, I spent so much time on playing Black Ops, from playing multiplayer with Martian to just, you know, all out just playing the game in general. It was amazing. Okay, Call of Duty Black Ops on the DS. If you haven't played it, emulate it, do what you gotta do. I wouldn't recommend any other Call of Duty on DS. They all suck, but that one truly did leave a lasting impression to the point where I'll never forget it. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget Black Ops. Next, I think it's time to move on to the consoles. So let's see, we would have did, let's see, we should have done like, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 games so far. So it's time to move on to consoles. Now, the Xbox 360. That is my childhood main like console choice. I still played my DS more, but the Xbox 360 was my childhood console. It was my main console. Whenever I wasn't on my DS, I was on my 360. If I was home and I wasn't playing my DS, I was on my 360. And the 360 was home to so many titles. I'll never forget the first game I ever played, and I still own this game. It's now the 360. Now, one thing you have to know about the 360, if you're a 360 child, now look. At the time, I'm gonna tell you what system I owned. I had the Xbox 360 Arcade. That was the first one I ever got. So if you were an Xbox 360 kid like me, you would understand that the Xbox 360, the Xbox 360 Elite, the Xbox 360, the Xbox 360 Elite and the Xbox 360 Arcade Edition, all three of those scratched disc up to no heck. Like, all my games pretty much for my original 360 are gone. They're destroyed. You know what I'm saying? The 360 could break games so quickly that sometimes I would get a game from GameStop and it wouldn't even work, okay? It wouldn't even work. But the first game I ever played, and this is the next game on the list because this game was technically a demo disc, but for some reason it was supposed to come with the Xbox 360 Arcade. But when I got mine, and keep in mind, I got it brand new for Christmas too. Me and Martin got it brand new because we had to share it, and we still own it. I mean, it's in terrible condition. Maybe I'll show it off one day on actual camera, but we still own it. But, you know, at the time, it was in terrible condition. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the time, I got it brand new, inbox and everything, plastic on, nothing. It came from Kmart, if I believe correctly. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but in my mind, I got it for Christmas, so I think it was Kmart, though. Because Kmart was still open. Now, kids today probably don't even know what a Kmart is. What's a Kmart, SEGASLAYER? Only thing I know is about a Walmart, and I barely know about that. Only thing I really know about is an Amazon. But no, that system, right? It was supposed to come with the Xbox 360 Arcade disc. I didn't learn that till way later on. I only just learned that like a few years ago that the Xbox 360 Arcade actually came with the Xbox 360 Arcade game disc. I didn't get that, but I don't understand why. But no, that's not the point. the next day I went to GameStop. Well, me and my brother went to GameStop, and we picked up our first game, the Xbox 340, Xbox 360. It was a tough choice, and this is kind of hard doing this on the emulator. It was a tough choice on what to get, but ultimately we chose one game. We chose one disc, the Xbox 360 arcade disc. Okay, we got the disc. Okay, now this disc was awesome. Okay, it was awesome. It may not seem like much today, but if you've never played it, it's very cheap still. You can get it for like 99. We got it for like 99 cents that day, and I think you can still get it for like that price on eBay and stuff. Now, it might be up in price, and I'm not sure. I haven't checked on it ever, probably, because, you know, I just played it on there. But the fact that we got this disc, and this disc had some it was essentially a demo disc for the Xbox 360 arcade. It had videos on it, trailers of the Xbox. It had video game trailers. There was like game trailers on there. There were demos of games, and then there was a few full games, right? Now, out of this, I played the demos so many times. Some of the ones that were just like ultimately just the best were Uno. Uno was a demo. Feeding Frenzy, that one was good, but that was a full game. There was Surf's Up. There was the Surf's Up demo, and to this day, I always play that demo. Like, if I boot up one of my Xbox 360s, I'll pop in the Xbox 360 Arcade Edition just to play that demo. Cause Surf's Up, the game on Xbox 360, I never watched a full review of it, but it was actually good. From the demo I played, I've never played the full game, and the thing is, I don't know why I've never went for it. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's like, you can probably find it for $1. You know what I'm saying? And I saw it in GameStop a few times, but I never went for it. Why I never did truly go for it, I can't answer that question. I just never decided to go for it. Now look, you gotta get this. You have to time this perfectly. There we go. But like, I don't understand why I never went for it. It was very cheap, but it was a good game. Okay, from the demo I played. Now, if I had the opportunity, I would go back and play it again. I would go back and get it, and I still might pick that up one day and fully play it. But that demo, I spent hours on that demo. It was a great demo. The game, you know, it had me interested in Surf's Up, and I still wish, like I said, I got it. But another game on that same disc that really stuck out to me, that was only a demo. But another one that me and Marcin, probably our first ever truly fun multiplayer game, was a game called Boom Boom Rocket. Now, if you've ever heard of it, it's an EA game made, I think it was also an Xbox 360 arcade game, so you could get it off the actual Xbox Live Store, but it came on that disc for free. And me and Marcin played the heck out of that game. It was fun. What it was is, it was one of the like Dance Dance Rhythm type of games, although what would happen is there would be arrows in the shapes of fireworks, and they would shoot up in the sky, and they would be represented by colors of the Xbox 360 controller. So if the firework was yellow, when it got to the line, you would just press Y. You know what I'm saying? To pop the firework off. It was great. It was fun. Great fun. And another one on there was Feeding Frenzy. I love Feeding Frenzy. That game is awesome. I never realized this guy was a fly and he was throwing, like, I guess maybe mothballs. I never paid attention to that. I don't know why. But no, man, he's probably a moth. What am I talking about? But yeah, that game, I never truly, like, Feeding Frenzy. I love it. There was this one song that I loved so much, and you know, I can't describe how it went, but it was a good song. Oh man, that was stupid. But yeah, that song, I loved it, that song in Feeding Frenzy. It was a good song altogether. If you've never played Feeding Frenzy, it's very cheap on Xbox. Go play it. Go get the Xbox 360 arcade disc. It was very fun, okay? But that's Xbox 360 arcade. There's more to it, but I won't really spoil that for you. I kind of recommend, if you want to learn more about it, you go on YouTube and maybe type it in, you know what I'm saying? Or try it yourself if you have a 360. It's very cheap. I don't think it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One, but it is very cheap, you know what I'm saying? I recommend you try it out. But no, the next game after that, so what, that was about 5 now. I think the next game, we fast forward a little bit, and we're going to talk about Halo Wars. No, before Halo Wars, 3 Halo games make the list, okay? 3 of them, okay? I'll let you know that now. So we're already 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all going to be Halo games. I'm letting you know now, okay? And the first one is Halo 3. Halo 3, man, this was me and Martian's. Okay, so this was one of our again early Xbox 360 games we picked up. Not the earliest, but definitely one of our earliest. And I'm not even paying attention. I'm still playing this game. That's just gonna show you how good I've played it over the years. I'm not playing the special stages because, you know, obviously they require the stylus, but no. Halo 3, we picked this up at GameStop for like $4 at the time. That's why I truly love GameStop, man. You could get so many great games and have such a blast with their games at GameStop that, you know, nothing else could ever match GameStop when it came to game overall, like just games for me, man. It was awesome. But we got Halo 3, we got the disc home, we popped it in our Xbox, we got our 2 controllers together. And when we put this into our Xbox and hit play,
Do your best, Sonic.
magic. I kid you not. Magic, okay? Halo 3, we had so much fun. I truly do believe Halo 3 was probably the funnest time me and Martian ever had playing a game together. And that's not even a joke. Like, Halo 3, man, we got so invested into the campaign. And this was at the time where games still decided that campaigns were worthy of being multiplayer. Even if it was like, now how they would do it was, back in the day, you would have a campaign, and both players would be the same guy, but like together, you know, it would be 2 versions of Master Chief, and you know, that worked. I wish games would still do that nowadays, but now campaigns just need to be like single player experiences. I truly, again, our generation was truly the last generation for couch co-op. So again, be thankful that you truly did get to experience it, because kids today, you know, no one's really worried about couch co-op, you know what I'm saying? Now everybody, you know, kids today, each of them have their own consoles or their own phones, so, you know, they're all playing like these couch quality games like online with each other. Most people play their games online. No one really plays couch co-op anymore, and you know, I truly find that sad. Those were the golden days of gaming for me, was the couch co-op days. Me and Martian used to get a game and come home and be so happy and excited to play that game together. You know, there was our week/weekend, you know what I'm saying? And I talked about this in a live stream once, but there was this thing called the GameStop hack, is what we called it. And what would happen is at the beginning of the year, you would go get one very expensive game, right? And what you would do is, and it would be a very expensive pre-owned game, not a new game. But what you would do is, you could take so you had 30 days to return a game, right? You had 30 days to return a game and trade it out for another game. So what you would do is, you would go get one game, you know, one very expensive pre-owned game at the very beginning of the year, you know, right after you got your Christmas money or something like that. And what you would do is, you would just continuously trade out games, right? You would just continuously trade games, and I fell there, I don't know why I did that. But you would continually trade out games and continuously just keep going back to GameStop at the end of every 30 months, or once you beat your game, and go get a new game. And that's another thing I'm really going to miss about GameStop, is that's gone, you know what I'm saying? That is gone. Kids today are not going to get to experience that. That was really the end of that whole like physical game thing in our generation, and I truly do believe physical games are the future. I mean, if you want an example about why digital is bad, right here, the PS3, PS Vita, and PSP stores are closing down this year. That means any games that didn't come out physically for those consoles are lost to time. And in the case of the PS Vita, I'm gonna assume that's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. You know what I'm saying? There you go. You want your all digital future? Have it. Okay? I don't want it. Okay? And which is why I truly believe I'm already mostly a retro gamer anyway. But like, I'm truly about to become like the pinnacle of retro gaming now. Because it's like, okay, now all the physical games are basically in the rush to erase physical so bad, and you lose in the process. You're gonna lose out on a lot of things, okay? A lot of things. So when these cloud services, or when these just keep in mind though, right? I want you to really keep this in mind. When these cloud services, when these stores go offline, you know what I'm saying? And you can no longer play your games anymore that you spent your hard-earned $60 on, or apparently games are still supposed to start getting higher and become $70. So when you realize that your hard-earned $70 you know, that your parents, or whoever worked for is gone, don't say anything, man, because, you know, it's guys like people who pushed for this all-digital future who ruined everything, you know what I'm saying? At least in my opinion. Now, companies were going to do it anyway, but it would have been better if you guys showed if more and more people showed companies that, hey, we don't want this. We keep making physical, we're not going to support you. Period. You know what I'm saying? I think it should always be an option, at least. You know what I'm saying? Now, I truly do believe this is truly the last generation. The 9th generation is truly the last generation for physical. And even then, the games aren't even on the disc anymore. You know what I'm saying? At this point, physical does not even matter. Even if you get a game physical today, it still doesn't even matter. Because guess what? When you put that game in your console, the game isn't on the disc. No, no, no. When you put that game onto your console, your console has to download the game off the store, regardless. So guess what? Physical games are already dead. My generation was the last generation truly for physical games. So I hope you're all happy. Like I said, I hope you're happy. If you're a supporter of all digital, you know what I'm saying? I really do hope you're happy. Because now, guess what? You're going to be losing a lot more money than you are gaining some. And I guarantee you that. Because here's the thing. What happens if you know what I'm saying? What happens if one of your old consoles, you know what I'm saying, is going offline, your store is going offline, and you didn't have all your games downloaded on there? You know what I'm saying? What if like 2 or 3 of your games were not on the system itself and the store shuts down? Guess what? Gone. Regardless. You know what I'm saying? So, or even now, if I buy a physical game and the Xbox store decides to shut down tomorrow, I'm done. So guess what? This is what we get. You know what I'm saying? But as I was saying, Halo 3, you know what I'm saying? It was just a classic game. And one day I'll make a Sega Slayer complaints video talking more about, you know, the all-digital future. But, like, as of now, Halo 3, man. But me and Marcin, we got this home, and, you know, it was a blast. We played the campaign together, although some weird glitch happened to us, where eventually the disc just stopped working. Like, it didn't stop working. We could get on the game, and, like, halfway through the campaign, so we never did end up finishing the Halo 3 campaign, but about halfway through, what happened was the disc glitched, right? And, what happens is we could get on the menu, you know what I'm saying, but we could never play the game. Even if we, like, factory reset, even if we, deleted the save date for the game and everything, it didn't matter. That didn't fix it. So, I don't know why that happened, and, I was kind of bummed out about that. But the point is, you know, we never did buy another copy. We should have. But the point being, you know, we had so much fun with that. The multiplayer we had so much fun with. It was just an all-time classic to us, and still one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know about Marcin, but this is still, like, Halo 3 will forever be one of my favorite games of all time. And it's what introduced me to the Halo series as a whole. The next title I'm gonna go ahead and say is Halo 4. Halo 4, man, even more so than Halo 3. I can't tell you how many times I solo and multiplayer with Marcin played that story. We actually completed it, man. I'll never forget that story at all, okay? Between the Covenant and the Gydag, okay, that's how Master Chief always said it. You know what I'm saying? It was a classic adventure, and no, I don't think any, like, traditional Halo game will ever top Halo 4 for me. Not even you, Halo Infinite. I see it coming out, okay? But I don't even think you can top Halo 4 for me, okay? Maybe you can. Maybe I'm wrong. I still haven't even played Halo 5 at this point. And I have an Xbox One. I just never got around to it. And I'll get around to it at some point. But, like, I have a high suspicion that Halo 5 is not going to be able to recreate the goodness that is Halo 4. Now, to be fair, a lot of people hate Halo 4. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people hate it, but I don't care what people hate. Halo 4 will always be a classic to me, a true, amazing game, and, you know, I always love it, right? But after that, I'd say what was this? So that was, what, 6, 7, 8. So, okay, 8. Halo Wars, man. Halo Wars for me was truly, like, a game that truly did leave a lasting impression on my childhood as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget Halo Wars, you know what I'm saying? The first one. The second one, I played it and I didn't like it so far from my first impressions. I never got it, but I tried it on Game Pass and it wasn't as good as the first one. I'm gonna have to give it a full playthrough and buy it and fully give it a playthrough. But, like, as far as the first one goes, it is truly an amazing title all around. It is truly good. Halo Wars, man, for me, at first, I didn't think I was gonna like it because I explained already that I don't like RPG type, turn-based type games like Halo Wars. But like when you actually play it, and you actually start to strategize, and you actually start to understand that, hey, this is how you play, this is what you do, and you actually start to just get into the groove, you'll understand how good Halo Wars is. If you have not played Halo Wars, I cannot recommend it enough. Please go out and play it. It is you can get Game Pass, you can get the free trial of Game Pass, and it is on there, and you can get that on your PC or your Xbox, and just try it that way. But please, go out and try Go out and try Halo Wars. I'm begging you, man. I promise you, you will not forget Halo Wars. It is an all-out gem of a game. I don't think it gets enough recognition. Like, as a whole, it's just an amazing title and an amazing time. And probably the greatest game Microsoft ever made, in my personal opinion. I love it too much. But after that, I'd say, what would be next? After Halo Wars, I'd have to say Sonic Unleashed. Obviously, I touched on this earlier, and it's my favorite game of all time, but Sonic Unleashed is just amazing, man. It is truly good. Like, Unleashed, especially the base stages, just stuck with me, and I've never forgot them, and I probably never will. Sonic Unleashed's just stages as a whole was so fun, so amazing, and when the game came out, it still blew me away. It is still one of the greatest looking games of all time, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on Sonic Unleashed because I've talked about it more times than I can remember, and already. So I've talked about Sonic Unleashed enough on this channel to, I think I get the point. You get the point. You can go watch my Unleashed review on it if you want to see more about it. But like, man, Sonic Unleashed. That's all I'm gonna say for that one. So what is that? That's 9. So 10. 10. This has to be 10 is gonna be the toughest one. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the most influential game, but it's gonna be tough to kind of choose through it. I think a few honorable mentions real quick. I'd have to say Lego Batman. I'd have to say Lego Batman 2. I'd have to say Halo Reach. Right? Halo Reach definitely. Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. Right, that's one that really did, like, I'm in love with the Splinter Cell series because of that. But number 10, I'd have to, it's a tough one, who I want to give this to. If I'm going to give it to anybody, I'm going to have to give it to, I'm going to have to give it to Road Rash. Road Rash 3. Okay, now, I know what you guys are saying, SEGASLAYER. You just started experiencing Road Rash, you know what I'm saying? First time I experienced Road Rash 3 was when I made the video, when I made that gameplay video on it the first time. That was the first time I'd ever even played Road Rash, and I immediately fell in love. Now, it is a classic title to me, and it is a really good Road Rash 3. I have the special video coming out this Friday, so stay tuned for that, of Road Rash 3. It is just an amazing title, and I love it so much, man. I truly do. It is an amazing title. Please go out and experience the Road Rash 3 if you've never experienced it. You really should get out there and experience Road Rash 3 now. It's an all-time classic and probably the best game EA's ever made, at least if you ask me, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, really, that's the 10 games I truly say have stuck with me the most from my childhood. Those are the 10 games that, I truly appreciate the most. And we're going to pause this really fast, so I can end this video. In fact, I'll close this out as a whole and we'll just sit on my desktop. But those are the 10 games as a whole that have truly stuck with me throughout my childhood. I'll never forget these games, and going forward into, my adult/rest of my life, these games are going to stick with me forever. And, I can't wait to make new memories throughout, the rest of my life for games, and to add new ones to this list. But as for my childhood, those are the 10 games I truly say defied my childhood as a whole. I'll never forget these games. I thank all the developers of these games, all the developers of each team, from Demps to Sega to Activision, Treyarch, EA, Microsoft, just all the developers of these games. I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart, because all of you, and I truly thank all the consoles that defined my childhood, from the DS to the 3DS to the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, GameCube, even the PS Vita now, because I did get it before I turned 18. and a bunch of other consoles that just defined my childhood. I truly thank you all. Not even just that, YouTubers that defined my childhood, from Some Call Me Johnny to Angry Video Game Nerd to Lonely Goomba to Kobanamani456 to, you know, just a bunch of other YouTubers that truly did define Sega Lord X, and just a bunch of other YouTubers that truly did define my childhood as a whole. I'd say I had probably the greatest childhood of all time, man. It was amazing, and if I could go back, I would relive it all again the exact same way it played out in this timeline. It was amazing. That being said, thank you for checking out. Thank you for all you guys that are gonna wish me a happy birthday in the comments. I hope my birthday is going good at the time. You know, I haven't, obviously I've recorded this the day before. In fact, it's 11:13, so, it'll be about an hour until, I turn 18. But, thank you to all you guys wishing me a happy birthday in the comments or wherever you're wishing me a happy birthday. I truly do appreciate it. It's awesome, you know what I'm saying? It feels good to be 18, and, I'm pretty sure this is what I would be saying if I'm, at the time, if I was actually recording this during the time. But, it probably does feel really good, and I truly do thank you. All your comments will be getting hearts and all that. If you're seeing this video, and you're just now seeing my channel, again, thank you too. If you're new here, if you could subscribe, that'd be really awesome. We're trying to reach 300 subscribers, and you know what? It would be an awesome birthday present, if you guys just got me a few more subscribers, you know what I'm saying? Maybe post a video a few places, you know what I'm saying? Help the channel out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Tell some of your friends to subscribe. You'd be helping us out a lot, and it'd be an awesome birthday present. Even if we just got maybe 5 more subscribers for my birthday, that'd be really good, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, either way, I'm still having probably a really good birthday, and I truly do thank you all. I've been the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, signing out for the last time from my childhood. This would be the last time saying this as a kid. Well, truly a kid, you know what I'm saying? Until next time. Hold on, I should get on OBS first. Okay, here we go. Childhood Sega Slayer signing out. Until next time. Have a good one, Slayers.